Hi, and welcome to Transparent with Tina, a holistic approach for mental, physical, and spiritual well-being so you can become the best version of yourself. To Transparent with Tina, I am Tina Marx, your host. My guest today is a systems restoration expert, functional medicine practitioner, therapist, and founder of the Rooted Queen Method, a whole systems approach to restoring the nervous system, hormonal health, limbic regulation, and spiritual alignment. Her work focuses us on system restoration, helping high capacity women uncover the deeper regulatory patterns driving burnout, inflammation, anxiety, and hormonal disruption. Through her work, she helps women move out of survival mode and into a state of regulation where clarity, resilience, and vitality naturally return. Welcome, Elizabeth Grace. Hey,
Thank you.
Elizabeth.
Hi. I know that was a bit of a
Uh,
long
yeah, I got a
introduction,
little
right?
tongue twisted there.
I know. I know. What I do is not like the common thing. I've designed my practice and my career so that I could help the most amount of patients that we have.
Well, exactly. And the reason that you're here, we connected after a long time. We had a breakfast, it was, and
Yeah.
I did not realize all that you do. And we are so much on the same page. This is why you're on the podcast because it's it's not breaking news, but to a lot of people it is, and it's cutting edge and it's evolution. I think that our traditional medicine, we've outgrown it. If you don't evolve, what
Correct.
happens, right?
You're left behind and no
And
one's coming to
your
get you.
and your husband even said to you, who's an ER doctor,
Yes.
sometimes I feel like you even know more than I do,
Yeah, when it
right?
comes to, yes, because here's why, and here's what the Rooted Queen does. And thank you. That was like such a great lead in. And why he said that is because he, like all traditional medicine, and by no means am I saying anything bad about allopathic medicine. Like, as you know, I'm married to one and I love him and admire him, and is actually the medical director of the Rooted Queen. But why he said that is that doctors are taught, most medicine is taught to address people in silos and buckets, right? So if something's going on with your heart, you go to a cardiologist. If something's going on with your hormones, you go to an endocrinologist. But they never or if something's going wrong with your immune system, you go to an infectious disease doctor. But never are they talking. Never are they saying, well, why is she having, or if you have bad allergies, you go to an allergist. They're not looking at, well, why does she have mast cell activation? Why is that happening? Oh, well, let's just treat the mast cell. No, there's a reason why, and it's system wide. So our symptoms are not failures.
Mm-mm.
Our symptoms are intelligent messages from the system letting us know it's dysregulated.
Hmm.
That's all it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. And people just get, well, you remember I had breast cancer. I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
I had
Yes, I
breast cancer
do.
in 2011, and they wanted me to do radiation and then follow up with tamoxifen, which is a
I know
carcinogen.
all about that is.
And
Yes.
everybody thought I was crazy for not doing it. And you know what? I just went by my intuition. My
Yes.
intuition was like, so the benefits, and here was the amazing thing. When I did find my surgeon in Los Angeles, my brother actually found her for me. I said, I'm not doing radiation. So what are the other options? She goes, well, I could just, 'cause I was doing a lumpectomy. They were going to remove the tumor. She goes, well, I can just cut around a little bit more. Because that's what radiation does, right?
Right. Yes, of
So
course.
why wouldn't everybody choose that option? But they're not telling us that. Exactly. They're
Mhm.
not telling us that. And
Right.
that's what infuriates me. And that's when I started on this quest in 2011. So I'm right there with you, sister. And you know what? Our conversation is so timely in my life because I've been sharing on this show that, I just realized not even maybe a year ago about the nervous system. I first found out about the gut health because I was having terrible anxiety and depression and everything else. Clean that up. But then I was like, I never knew that I was in fight or flight my whole life. I just thought that was normal because I didn't know any other way of feeling,
Right.
right?
And here's the thing. that your gut is messed up because your nervous system is messed up, and your nervous system is messed up, that your immune system is messed up and caused cancer. It's none of it your fault. I'm not blaming you or saying that you should have known, because no one would know this. And as you said, this is all evolving medicine. It truly is. But in our country and in our world, maybe more so here than in Europe, but for sure in our country and other countries around us, Canada, Mexico, in that, the model is treating symptoms one by one, right?
Right. So but it's not getting to the root cause.
No. And when you say, I got my gut in order, but then my nervous system showed me, right? Because unless you're stabilizing all of the regulatory systems, with the immune system is one, the gut is one, our hormones, and by hormones, I mean your thyroid, your insulin, your cholesterol, your reproductive hormones, and your cortisol. That's what I mean by hormones, not just your sex hormones, your inflammation, and your identity. Okay. What is stored in your amygdala, those are our regulatory systems. So if you are regulating your gut, it doesn't mean that everything's going to be okay in your life. It just means that your gut will be stabilized for a little bit, and then life is going to happen. And the lack of capacity that we have in our nervous system that was taught to us, it's not our fault. It is our responsibility to heal, but it's not our fault. It's going to throw us off, right?
Right.
I see patient after patient. In fact, I have a new patient starting right after this podcast. And one of the questions on in what we call the Crown Case Review, which is a really deep diagnostic look. That's your first session with us, your first appointment with us. It's not an intake, it's not a consultation, it's a deep look. But one of the questions that I ask that they fill out ahead of time is, what would need to happen for you to feel good? And she put, my boss needs to become nicer. My mom needs to stop acting the way she is. And my ex-boyfriend needs to stop bugging me. And I am not cutting her down or at all. But this is how we live, or how people live, right? They live as if we need the circumstance outside of us to be
change
okay,
that's not
for us to be okay. But we have to have the fortitude. And I don't mean pick up your big girl pants and go on. That's not what I mean. This is not about discipline. This is not about mindset. It's not about grit. This is about really looking at your systems one by one and having an expert in that who is going to have you see all of the systems that are creating the circumstance that people need to be a certain way, and traffic needs to be a certain way, and the weather needs to be a certain way in order for you to be okay.
Right, exactly, because that's never going to happen. You can only control what you can control.
Right, and even things you think you can control, like the food you put in your mouth. One day gluten might bother you, and the next day it doesn't. I don't mean people with celiac. I mean people with gluten intolerance, right?
Yes.
I'm not saying that if
just like you can get an allergy anytime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's all driven by another system. You don't just suddenly get a gluten intolerance. It's, why is the gut not accepting that? Because there's inflammation up, because there's immune signaling down, because there's hormone chaos, because there's identity looping. See?
Yes. And so this is really the integration of mind, the body, the spirit, emotionally, right?
Yeah.
Because let's break down the nervous system, because that's fascinating. And you said earlier that that's probably why I had the gut problem, was because my nervous system was not regulated, right?
Correct. Yep.
So what if somebody's like, well, I don't know if my nervous system is regulated. What are some of the symptoms you would know if you have a dysregulated nervous system?
Oh, that is a fantastic question. So there is an older model by Dr. Stephen Porges that there's a lot of hubbub about this right now, and that it's not current, but and he has what is called the polyvagal theory, right? And people are talking about the fact that it's much more layered than what it is. But I'm saying that in order to say what I'm going to say, so that your listeners don't say, this girl's not even up on anything. I realize that now we have more research, just like everything's evolving. And the ladder of the polyvagal theory is not as linear as we once believed it to be. But for this explanation, I just wanted to preface that so that we could have an easy conversation, one that will make sense to everyone. Not that you couldn't understand this, but we don't have 2 hours to break down every part of the nervous system.
Right.
So thinking of the nervous system in a ladder, there's 3 rungs in this ladder. Okay. The top ladder is where we all want to be living. And that clinically is called ventral vagal. That's too hard to remember. So I nicknamed it stay and play. Okay. Why I call it stay and play is stay is be present, be here, be aware, be acutely mindful of what's going on. That's the stay part. But the second part is even more impactful, play. What are all the attributes of play? Creativity, imagination, resourcefulness, curiosity, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We don't have enough of that.
Correct. So if we are not in a curious state, if we are not in a resource state, if we are not in a childlike state in that way, and not all children are happy, but our fairy tale childhood moments, right? Then we are not in stay and play, and we are in dysregulation. So when we are irritated, it doesn't mean that I don't get dysregulated, but it's all about how quickly you can get out of that.
Yes.
And how quickly you can get out of that, and how big of a window, we call it window of tolerance, you can tolerate life, right? So there's 2 aspects to this, kind of going all over the place, but let me bring us back. So if we're not in stay, when we're in stay and play, our window of tolerance is huge, right? Like you are on a trip. I know you love to travel. I love to travel. And in fact, I'm going to Argentina in less than 2 weeks. How exciting.
Oh, wow. How fun.
So I could either be in Argentina in fight, flight, fawn, or freeze, or I could be in Argentina and stay and play. And here's what that would look like. Okay. I'm at the airport, which we leave at 2 a.m. Okay. Stay and play would say, oh, wow, that's no big deal because I looked at the time difference and it's actually not even that much of a difference of time in Argentina. I'm just going to start going to bed earlier for a week before we leave. No big deal. Okay. There's stay and play, looking for resources, not having it be a problem, making it fun, right? Like, oh, this will be fun going to bed early. Oh my gosh, yay. I get to be like a little kid. Theo, stop that. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Real life here. So anyways, that would be an aspect to stay and play. Or if I was in fight and flight, God, I can't believe it. It's so stupid. There's no flights. How come every single flight to Argentina is like in the middle of the night? That's crazy. Okay. Flight would be, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I don't know if I can do this. I mean, that's so scary. Collapse would be, I don't even want to go. I don't even want to go. I mean, just forget it all. Just, God. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I love that you're saying this. I've never heard it put together, but what I've been learning about the nervous system, yes. It's you want to be more responsive, not reactive. And the first one that the being in the curiosity and stay and play, you are responsive. You're responding to the situation, as opposed to reacting. And that is 100%. How I was in my whole life.
Me too, Tina.
Anything would be out of place. Anything in traffic I'd be pounding on the steering wheel.
Know. I used to be like, gosh, this is how my life used to be. And this is why I do the Rooted Queen. Here's me with an undefended dissertation. So for all aspects and periods, I have a PhD in psychology. Can't say that legally because, I don't have that piece of paper. All of the coursework though. So what I'm saying is I know all that. I'm already in practice, been in practice. I am certified in so many modalities. It's funny, right? And I keep thinking that another modality that I take will heal me.
That's, right? Okay?
Yeah. I'm saying to myself, which I was more of a flight person than a fight person. So I'm not the one punching the steering wheel. I'm the one going, why is this happening? Why am I doing this? Oh my gosh, I can't handle this. Okay. I was more flight than you're more.
I'm more fight.
Okay. But they're both called sympathetic activation. No, none's better than the other. It's just the way we're expressing this dysregulation. Okay. So I used to say to myself, can you imagine this? I used to say to myself, gosh, I hope I'm in a good mood today. What? I used to have to ask myself if I could be in a good mood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because it was so out of reach and you didn't know how to get yourself in.
Exactly. Even though I had all this education, I didn't realize that, yes, I of course knew about the gut brain connection. In fact, I started studying that way long ago, before most people were talking about this. 22 years ago, I was using the gut brain connection in my work with patients, but I didn't realize that my gut was one of the systems that were off. I didn't realize that my nervous system was driving the entire thing.
Right. I didn't realize that until today either.
I didn't realize that my lifelong allergies are because my gut is off, because my nervous system is off, because my limbic system and my brain, my emotional brain is off. I didn't know any of that.
So where does it start in the limbic system? Because I mean, the
No,
thoughts
it does
create
not.
the emotions.
No, it starts in the nervous system. The nervous system informs everything.
But the nervous system, what drives the nervous system? Thoughts, right?
Well, so that's a very, very complicated question. Sure, yes. Thoughts is one of the things that drives the nervous system, but identity drives the nervous system. Where did our identity come from? When we're a newborn baby, where did our identity come from? Our identity came from inherited things that are physical inherited. It came from inherited conversations and narratives. It came from
all these beliefs that were imposed upon you.
Yes, that we're literally born with, because they were in the DNA of our mother and our grandmother, and it came from us being infants and our moms saying, "I can't handle this. Why is this baby crying?" Okay, that we may not have understood that language like literally, but we clearly understood that language, just like my dog knows. My dog can be in the living room. I have a sizable house, praise God, but and I'm like 3,000 square feet away from my dog, and he knows when I'm in a bad mood or sad. I dropped something on my toe today. I literally thought I was going to lose my toe. I did not, but I screamed, because I mean, that's a natural thing. My dog came running, right? And he couldn't hear me. I didn't scream so loud that he could hear me. He could pick up the energy. We are no different than that, especially as infants. So this is what I mean when you say, well, where did it come from? From thoughts? Yeah, but we were thinking before we knew we were thinking, but before we could categorize our thoughts, as we grew and matured, we still had those thoughts, and the identity is born, and the nervous system responds to our identity.
Hey, real quick, let's talk about something we all deal with, but never really think about. Electromagnetic radiation. Yeah, EMF. It's everywhere, from our phones, laptops, Wi-Fi routers, even our smart fridges. And no, I'm not saying ditch your tech. I mean, who could? But I am saying you can protect yourself from unnecessary exposure with Aries Tech. Backed by peer-reviewed studies and independent testing, Aries Tech makes compact, science-backed EMF modulation devices that help reduce the effects of electromagnetic radiation on your body. Rather than blocking EMFs, Aries Tech's products work with your own body's electromagnetic field to balance out the effect. Yes, you heard that right. Our body is made up of energy, and this works with your own energy to balance out the effects. I've got one around my neck, one on my phone, and one in my living room. And honestly, it gives me peace of mind knowing I'm doing something small that can make a big difference over time. So whether you're working from home, gaming for hours, or just scrolling your feed in bed, protect your space. Check them out at ariestech.com and use the code TINA25, 25% off your order. That's AIRES tech.com, because your body deserves better. Right, exactly. Okay, so yeah.
Okay, so
it's
like
all these, because, you know, I understand, like, every day we have about 60,000 thoughts going through our mind, and like 85% are negative. So this is why all my clients, I say, you know what? Do you have a morning routine? No, what's that? Well, what do you do right when you get up? Well, I would check my email, look at my phone. It's the worst thing you can do.
Right.
You're not going inward, checking in with yourself, calming yourself down if you are anxious. And we're going to get into that in a minute. And then if something challenging comes across your path, you can be more responsive instead of reacting.
Well, we hope we can, but what systems are off? What systems are dysregulated? Are you having, as a female, are you having hormone, when we say hormone issues, of course, we all think of like reproductive hormone issues? Are you having bad periods? Are you in perimenopause? Are you in menopause with hot flashes? Do you have tummy aches? Do you have aches and pains? Do you have, you know, bloating? Do you have rashes? Do you have, are you able to sleep? I mean, that's why somebody can't just decide they're going to be in a good mood.
You're right. Exactly. You can't will this, like you said earlier.
No,
You can't
you
think
cannot
your way
will
out
it.
of this. And that's where you start to feel like you're going a little Lulu. That's where I did.
A
I,
hundred
I thought I
percent.
was going out of my mind. I really did.
Right. I know. I mean, I tried everything. I really did. I mean, like I said, I had the insight, I had the language, I had the therapy. But what I didn't have was the restoration or the tools to know how to restore, and not just restore my nervous system, but restore all the systems.
All the systems that we're talking about. The other thing that people that I've been thinking a lot about, we are in a very, everything is energy, right? Tonight
Yes.
is the blood moon. I
Yes.
have
I
been, this energy this last week has been so sticky.
yes.
It's sticky. It's waking me up at night. I swear, I felt like that today. I'm like, I'm going a little crazy. And then but now I can
I
calm
know.
myself
Same.
down. You don't know whose energy you're picking. You're picking up the world, the 5Gs, the people you hang around with. It
Yes.
really is so layered. Okay, so let's go back to tell us some symptoms that are related to, like, if somebody doesn't know if they're dysregulated, what are some of the things that they're going to experience if they're dysregulated?
Okay. Well, one of them is to put it plain simply, right? And I'm going to expand on this, but to put it simply, you just don't feel like yourself anymore. So
Hmm.
wherever your baseline used to be, you're not there anymore.
Right.
Uh, I'll give you an example of a patient we have that's 63 years old, owned multiple boutiques here in the Coachella Valley, was very, very um, successful. And then she had an eye incident that occurred with her retina. It was genetic, so it didn't come from her nervous system, but there was underlying nervous system stuff there that she was just pushing down, pushing down. So that eye situation that she had caused her to end up feeling all these weird symptoms. Now, this had nothing to do with her eye. I want to make sure you hear this. This is nothing to do with her eye. That's why when you're asking me, what are the symptoms? I'm giving you a story instead. So after the eye situation, because of her thoughts that she wasn't aware of, now she's losing her balance. And oh, I don't think I can drive. Oh my gosh, my peripheral vision is gone. Okay, well, I think I'm not going to be able to go do my ballet class anymore because I could fall, because I think my peripheral vision's gone. It's not. This is just what she's thinking, right? And
Hmm.
my gosh, I'm older. Oh, I think my knee's hurting. My knee is hurting. Oh my gosh, my knee is hurting. So when we talk, why am I saying all this? Because there isn't like a bucket list of symptoms. It's so individualized based on the way the dysregulation is going to express in each individual person. So
Hmm.
so just like we were talking about, you and I both being anxious. When you're anxious, you want to punch a steering wheel. When I'm anxious, I want to cry and get away, right? The same.
Well, yeah, I do both. I do both. I isolate sometimes. If I'm feeling anxious,
Well, that's different. I don't collapse. I mean, you need to help me. I mean, I can't help you. I'm not like that
oh,
anymore.
okay. Yeah,
Like the
right.
neediness,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Right.
So when I have those neediness feelings, that is going to create a cascade of neurotransmitters and inflammatory markers that are different than the ones that are created from anger. So because of that cascade of wonky chemicals, if you will,
Hmm.
caused from the dysregulated emotions and feelings and
Hmm.
thoughts, we are then going to each have different symptoms, right? So it's close to impossible to say what the symptoms are. I mean, I could go really broad. Most people have problems with sleeping. Some people can't stay asleep. Some people can't get to sleep. Some people sleep too long,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
they have a problem with sleeping.
Hmm.
Focus. Most people can't focus. Some people overfocus. Some
Hmm.
people feel like they have ADD. I haven't had a new patient, another new one this morning. I think I have ADD. No, you don't, girl. You are in nervous system dysregulation and your brain can't think straight. Sure, you could
Mm.
go to a psychiatrist who would test you and put you on some med for ADD, and it could help kind of, but now you've got all kinds of side effects, and you're still not going to get to the root.
Right.
So,
And
so
then before you know it, and then pharmaceuticals often they're designed to give you a side effect. So now you need something else. And now you need,
correct,
that's why when you get old, see these older people that have a plethora of medications like by
exactly.
their bed. Right.
So easily said. What are some of the symptoms that we see? When we look at the buckets that are affected by a dysregulated system, we're looking hormonally. So, like I said, sleep is going to be impacted. Our cycle, if we're still having our cycle, is going to be impacted, or even if we're not suddenly having hot flashes when we didn't have them, or vaginal atrophy when we didn't have that because we're now in menopause, then we didn't have it, but we now have hormone wonkiness because our system is dysregulated, or maybe we're getting more colds than before, or maybe we're more sensitive to foods than we used to be, or maybe we have seasonal allergies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Mm-hmm.
we have more aches and pains. Maybe we have headaches that we didn't used to have. So now we're talking about inflammatory markers.
Right, exactly. And that's leading me to my next question, because my next question was going to be why are so many women told their labs are normal when they feel exhausted, inflamed, anxious, and just don't feel like they used to? Because they're not looking for what you're looking for, right?
Correct, because labs are looking for disease, and normal
Yes.
doesn't mean regulated. Lab ranges, traditional lab ranges are literally designed to detect disease, like as in I'm dying, not loss of regulatory capacity.
Okay.
Nobody cares in the allopathic world. And my husband will tell you this. That's why he is the medical director of the Rooted Queen after having been working in the ER 37 years. He will tell you that doctors are not paid enough or set up enough. And it's not even their choice. It's insurance models, it's administration from hospitals and clinics. They're not set up to spend the time to look at people widely in a wide range. And plus, they're not trained.
Well, it comes down to the medical schools. Why are
Yes,
they not teaching? They're only taught 45 minutes of nutrition in
I know
medical.
exactly because they teach people in buckets, like I said.
Mhm. Well, yeah, it's really to save people's lives. It's to cut
Right,
them open, give them the
right,
medication that they need. Right. And this is we're taking a deep dive into the physiology. That's what you're doing is you're taking a deep dive into physiology of the whole body. Hey
right.
guys, okay, let's talk skincare. For most of my adult life, I had a hate relationship with my skin. I struggled with adult acne, discoloration, large pores, psoriasis, and fine lines. I swear, all that changed when I started using herbal face food. I mean, this stuff is powerful. We're talking the world's most potent antioxidant and anti blemish formula. And the serum is the number one anti aging serum in the world, made entirely from 100% botanical plants. No chemicals, no synthetics, 100% all natural. Whether you're dealing with fine lines, dark spots, sun damage, rosacea, psoriasis, melasma, or just want that all day healthy glow, Herbal Face Food has your skin covered. Literally. I've been using all their products for 3 years now, and let me tell you, it's like green juice for your face, only stronger. Remember, whatever you put on your skin goes in your body. So, this is a really important point here, seeing that it's 100% all natural. Give it a try. It's got a 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked. You can check them out at herbalfacefood.com. Use promo code TINA20 for 20% off your entire order. That's herbalfacefood.com because your skin deserves the whole body. Best.
Right. The physiology of the whole body, the whole mind, the whole spirit.
Yeah,
So
and the
we
spirit.
haven't even
Yes.
touched on that. We haven't even touched on the spiritual part, right? Or
No.
purpose driven part, right? So we can't just, oh, by the way, it's 333 right now. I always
Oh,
love
yeah, me too.
catching
Angel numbers.
angel
Yeah.
numbers. I catch them all day. I love it. And this is one way I help myself be regulated is,
Me
oh my
too.
gosh, I didn't even mean to say this. I said we didn't talk about the spiritual part. And look
And
at
then
what
and
God
then
did.
we get 333. It's the angels
Right.
saying
So that's
you need to talk about that part.
exactly. And we're watching you. We're here for you. We're seeing what you're doing. You're okay. You're not alone.
Exactly. So anybody who doesn't know what angel number is, so they don't think we're
Yeah,
going on some tangent here. Angel
right.
numbers are whenever you see repetitive numbers, whether usually you'll see them on a clock, 222, 111, 333, 444. And it's really fun because once you start seeing them, you start seeing them all the time. And you can just look it up on ChatGPT. You can just go to Google and say, meaning of angel number 333. And it'll tell you what your angels are trying to tell you. Yeah, beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
So
Okay. So we were talking about the
spiritual.
why they feel exhausted, inflamed. Okay. And then the spiritual part. Right. So we could again, when we are not touching the entire way that God made us, or wherever the way, if you don't believe in God, however we got here on earth, however
Mhm.
human was ever created, human was created to be in community and have a social aspect, right? And a purpose driven aspect. We were designed for that. We know that in retirement, what causes early death is people not having a purpose in community around them. We know that. Okay.
You know what I heard? They said the number one reason of death these days is lack of relationships.
Yes,
Yeah.
loneliness is an
Hmm.
epidemic for sure.
Hmm.
And that's why Seventh-day Adventists, which is not the faith that I practice, but I know of this, that is why they have the longest life, because their religion is put together to be in community. Like that is part of their ethos, right? And so they have the longest life, not just from that. They don't drink a lot of alcohol or alcohol at all, and they eat pure foods, and they get outside, and they believe in exercise.
That's huge. Being out
Right.
in nature. Yes.
Yeah. And that's all part of the spiritual part. We can't just work on the physiology of the body. We can't just regulate our nervous system and learn how to have a bigger window of tolerance and be able to be in stay and play, or figure out when you're not in stay and play and get there quickly. We can't just be aware of the thoughts that we have and the parts of us that are hurting us, but we also have to know who we belong to and what is our purpose and why are we here. We had to have all of that.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's the connection of all of it. I mean,
it's the connection
there's
of
that
all.
saying we're spiritual beings living a human existence,
Correct.
and we get it backwards.
100%.
And earlier, when you said, identity, that really hit home too, because when I was going through that, when I was living in the beach and the depression and anxiety and everything, I felt so detached from myself. I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I didn't feel connected to myself. And that's why this morning routine is for me. Before I can get up here in my head, I choose to go inward and really connect with who I am. And that
Right.
is,
That's so good.
yeah. You say that balancing hormones or calming the nervous system alone isn't enough.
Well,
Why
that's
not?
exactly what we've been talking about,
Right.
because
So
we are
it's the
all
spirit.
we're
Yeah.
all one system. So we can't just look at the hormones in the nervous system, because the body's an ecosystem, and hormones are influenced by nervous system tone. The ladder I was talking about, and then your nervous system. So if hormones are influenced by your nervous system, okay,
Yes. Yes.
your nervous system is influenced by immune signaling. Okay.
Okay.
And immune signaling is influenced by inflammation and gut permeability. And then all of that is influenced by your brain's perception of safety,
Yeah.
i.e., your
Yes.
identity.
Yes. Yeah. I learned that this year. It's
So
the
when
number one thing. I think we all want to feel safe.
yes. So when
Yes.
someone focuses only on one piece, like I'm a hormone coach, I'm a trauma coach, I'm a nutrition coach, I'm a nervous system coach, people may get temporary improvement. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to say anything bad here, but the system will it's just science. It's not my
Yes.
opinion, it's just science. The system will eventually destabilize again because the underlying regulatory network isn't restored.
Right. So what I'm hearing you say is a lot of people, like for me, I went to my gut doctor. But if you really want to treat the whole body, you either go to somebody like you, which I don't know how many people are doing this, that treat all of it, or you're like a one-stop shop. Otherwise, you're going to have to go to a gut doctor. Then you got to get a spiritual coach.
And
Then
you
you got
hope
to
that
get a
they're talking
hormone,
to, and you hope they're talking to each other,
and you hope they're talking to each other.
because
Or you,
who's gonna put all those pieces of the puzzle together?
Right.
So
Wow.
for women listening here who are wondering, like, where do I even start? The
Okay.
easiest
That's what
place
I was
is
going to ask you. Where do they start?
the easiest place is the Cracks in Your Crown quiz. That
Okay.
quiz is it's free and it helps you see which system might
Oh,
actually be driving what you're experiencing. So we know which one you're having more symptoms in. We have to we had to work with the whole system, but we want to at least know
so
where.
this quiz will tell I'm going to take it today. I haven't even taken it. I'm going to take it. So that will tell me which system is what, driving it or off or what?
Or off. Which one is you'll see questions about hormone imbalancing. Now it's a quiz. It's not all comprehensive, the entire program. So we can only pack so much into a quiz. So it's looking at the biggest drivers of dysregulation. There's all the drivers matter, but the biggest drivers of dysregulation is hormone imbalance, limbic system issues or disrepair. So the rumination, the I don't know who I am, the people pleasing.
What's
Nervous,
this all about? What's this
yeah,
life?
yeah,
I mean, God, I
yeah,
used to,
yes.
yeah.
Nervous system dysregulation and faith or purpose reconnection. So it's not faith reconnection, it's purpose reconnection.
Purpose reconnection.
So,
Yes.
so those are the 4 tenets that are in the quiz to get you started, right?
Okay. Right. And then after they take that, now you're offering today a $75 discount off your Crown Case Review, which is a deep dive systems analysis that maps the hidden patterns driving systems, right?
Oh, that sounded wordy. Yes, but and it's my fault because I wrote it. Yes. So as I was saying in the beginning, that when we do the case review, we're not just doing an intake and doing a consultation. We're looking at all these systems. The first session is designed, purposely designed, systematically designed to be able to show you everything that's going on and map this out for you so that you know where to start. And we hope you work with us. But even if you don't and you want to go work with just one person at a time, or maybe you even have someone that you're working with, maybe you
Mm-hmm.
do. That's fine. I'm not trying
Mm-hmm.
to take business away, but
Right.
we can show you what else needs to be handled. What else
Right.
needs to be handled? So,
So, like, for example, my son and my brother, both my brothers and my they always have sinus problems. So this could be something deeper than just an ear, nose, and throat person.
correct. Right.
Okay,
So the sinus problem has something to do with inflammation and or immune and for sure gut, for sure. And then
for sure, gut.
the nervous system's driving all that.
Okay, all right, all right. So in your Crown Case Review, you
Yes.
spend what, an hour on the phone with somebody?
Yep. But before I spend that hour, I've already spent an hour on my own time of looking at this and mapping this out. And then they walk away with a protocol. So they know which systems need the most attention when.
Do they take any kind of blood test or any kind of test like
Not
that?
yet. That's well, we do, but not in the Crown Case Review. This is a systems mapping. We
That's
couldn't do
okay.
blood work until we know what to test, right? We're not like a primary care doctor that just does, basic labs. We have comprehensive labs that we do based on what we learned in your case review.
Got it. Okay. All right. And then
But the
how
case
long do you
review is
usually
really
work with somebody? I mean,
well, we have problems. We have programs that are 6 months and 1 year.
okay, so what does that look like? 6 months I'm working with you. What does that look like?
So it's a deep container. You are seeing me at least twice a week, twice a month. You are working with another person in our program that is a nurse and a master's degree in nutrition and nervous system regulation.
Mm-hmm.
There's a program that you use called AO Scan that has to do with nervous system regulation that you use right on your phone. The app's right on your phone. You have it with you all the time, or you could use it on your tablet or on your computer. We love this. And then you have what you also have, which I love this part, and this is where my husband really comes in, is that if you are working with another specialist, we're conferring with them. So I'll give you an example. I had a patient who was taking Jardiance, and she had a heart attack, and she was taking Jardiance. What no one told her, her She went to her gynecologist, her cardiologist, her internist. No one told her that this symptom she was having, which was really about vaginal atrophy and a mouth so dry that she couldn't even chew food anymore. And she had lost 38 pounds in 1 year without trying, no GLPs, not trying. Like she's bone thin and has sarcopenia, which is massive loss of muscle, was all a factor of Jardiance. So Jardiance dries you out because it pulls glucose from the body. And so you're excreting the glucose in your breath and in your urine. That's why her vagina was so atrophying and so inflamed. And that's why her mouth was so inflamed, because she was constantly having, sugars acid just coming out of her. And then that was the thing. So see, why you would want to work with us is because of all of the things I said, plus the conferring with other specialists. So we were able to resolve an issue that she had for so long that 3 other doctors missed. It's not that they're not great doctors. They are. But when they get 6 to 12 minutes with someone, how much can they do? How much can they do? Because that is the way the traditional medical model
So my
is.
doctor says that we don't die from old age, we die from inflammation. And I couldn't agree more. When I found him a couple of years ago, I was not in great shape. I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and he found out it was all related to my gut. Did you know that 90% of your dopamine and 90% of your serotonin are made in your gut? Okay. So I have been on all of his products ever since that day. But the ones that I want to talk to you about are the alkalizers. He's got one for coffee and he's got one for alcohol. What do? They make the beverage from acidic to alkaline, which is so important because if your body is too acidic, it is a breeding ground for disease. So you want to keep your body in an alkaline balance. So with the coffee, it comes either for black coffee or it comes flavored as a creamer. I love the flavored ones. Vanilla is my favorite, but I also love the hazelnut. They're all delicious. One scoop, and it does not break your fast for one. It changes your body, your coffee from acidic to alkaline, which you don't have to feel guilty about drinking coffee anymore. And the one for alcohol does the same thing. 5 drops into any alcoholic beverage, and it will make it from acidic to alkaline, meaning no hangover. It doesn't change the taste. It doesn't change the color. And best of all, it doesn't change the buzz. You can still drink and enjoy yourself, all the while knowing that you're not causing inflammation in your body. So go to www.getoffyouracid.com and use the promo code Tina Marx
medical model
20.
is. But in our program, of course, insurance does not cover it because why would they? In our program, we have the time. We take the time. So we're working on your nervous system with you. You get to be in our private community that is a HIPAA, contained, and you will have a clinician that you can talk to every day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's
really
imagine trying to learn the tools that we teach you and they're not working.
Right.
And then you have to wait till next week to see your practitioner, your
right,
therapist.
Exactly. So you can no, right, exactly.
No, I mean, we can't spend an hour on the phone with you, but we spend a good 5-10 minutes and we get you set back up and you try it. And the next day you let us know how you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about momentum. And I think that's very important for your psyche too. Because I tell my clients, I say, you know what, some clients I have twice a month, some clients I have every week, but the ones I have twice a month, I'm like, something happens, you run in a ditch, call me. I don't want you saying, oh, I can't talk to her for 12 more days. And then you get out of momentum and everything else.
Exactly.
Yes.
100%. So that's what it looks like.
Okay. So how do people, okay, I already asked you where they should start. So people, to get the $75 off the Crown Case review, first you would want to take the Crown quiz.
You don't necessarily have to take the quiz. You might hear something in this and you're like, dude, I'm ready.
I know what
I'm ready for this deeper guidance. So I'm going to go right for this.
Okay. So it's $75 off the Crown Case review. And to access either one, just simply DM the word Tina on Instagram.
Yep.
To your Instagram. Now,
Yep, to
this
my
is a little bit confusing because I called you Liz.
it's a lot easier than a website, a lot easier than a
No, no, no,
website.
no, no. What I was going to say is because it says on the screen Elizabeth Grace, but your Instagram is
Is
Elizabeth
Elizabeth Scarcella.
Scarcella, which is
Yep,
Scarcella.
Cella. So
Okay.
Elizabeth, like the Queen,
Yes.
Stella, Scarcella.
Right. And just DM the word Tina, and then somebody from your team will set it up and
Yep,
get you going. Right.
yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, this was a fascinating, fascinating interview, and I am so appreciative of you and what you're doing. We need more people like you, and
That's my mission. I'm training people right now. I have a staff. It's happening quickly. I love it. And if there's any other podcast hosts that are listening here and you feel like this conversation would help your audience, I'd love to continue that too.
yes, absolutely. The more that we spread the word, the
The
better.
more that we spread the word, the better off we are. Because
Yes,
here's the thing, most women don't have multiple problems, Tina. They have one dysregulated system expressing itself in
through
multiple.
through other things.
Yes.
Yes, yes, exactly.
What good
What
news
a
that is.
refreshing conversation. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Elizabeth. And I'm going to take this quiz, and I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Good. That's
But
excellent. You've
we'll
done a
see what the
lot of
quiz says.
work. You've
Huh?
done a lot. You've done a lot of work, right?
Yeah, and I didn't even have somebody like you. I had to go hand pick it and search it and everything
Me
else.
too. That's
Yeah.
why the rooted queen exists, because I didn't have me either.
That's what I was going to say. When you were saying earlier that one of the things that you need to play and stay and play
Yeah, stay and
is
play.
purpose.
Yes,
Okay. And how many times that I've interviewed people, I would say 99% of the time, it's like their mess became their message.
of course.
And that's why you got into this because your own hardship. That's why I got into coaching.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not a traditional therapist, even though I was doing holistic modalities and hypnosis and EMDR and EFT and internal family systems, which I love and use those still.
Hmm, hmm,
But
hmm.
that wasn't enough because that was just working.
That's even advanced for traditional therapy. There was
Yeah,
a therapist that didn't even know what IFS was,
really.
and she's a court appointed therapist for like 30 something years down here. I
Oh my
didn't even know
God.
didn't even know what it meant,
Crazy.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
Well,
paying all
some just
this
aren't
money and not feeling better because the models are outdated. So
correct. Right.
okay, you guys. So remember Instagram Elizabeth Scarsalis
Scarcella,
S. Go ahead.
SCA, it's Elizabeth Scarcella, Scarcella.
Yeah.
The rooted
Okay.
queen. You will find me there, and I can't wait to talk with you. And even if you don't want to take the quiz, come say hi.
Yeah,
Just give
exactly.
me a thumbs up. Just, loved it, hated it. Come tell me what you didn't like. I'm open to it all.
I don't
I'm
think they're going to
here to
think anything.
expand. I'm
Yeah.
here to help people grow, and I'm here for me to grow.
Yeah.
So
The more you do this, the more you're growing and helping it. That's the whole purpose of us being here is to
yes,
be of service to other people. That's what I think.
a hundred
And when you
percent.
lose track of that, that's when you get out of your stay and play and
Yes,
stay,
exactly,
right?
exactly,
It's all
totally.
about me.
Yeah,
That's a horrible place to be. It's so much
yes.
better to be thinking about how I can move forward or how I can bring value to this world. Well, you certainly did today, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, everybody, for being here this
Yeah,
week.
thank you.
Yes, and we're going to have another great guest on next week. If you haven't gone to my YouTube channel, please do. It's Tina Marx TV and subscribe. And then you can catch this podcast on Apple, Spotify, all the other ones. All right, you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks,
Bye.
Elizabeth.
Bye.